I know what people come to Massachusetts. It's a tough state. It's a tough state. Huh? They don't want you to make any money in this state. They're not too. Yeah. Okay, Rabbi said we're in the middle of learning about the 9 days. Metcha Mashiach soll schon kommen in Giechen. A lot of times, people ask about fixing the house, doing things during the 9 days. Somebody called me just Erev Shabbos. It's a shaila of sholem bayis. Ramai said at the end of the day, you're not supposed to do any type of extra work in the house. Even to paint or anything that's what you call to make it nicer looking is not allowed al pi halacha. But not only that, if you need a place to live, emergency situation, then we allow it. Yeah, you have to go there right away. Okay. This is a famous halacha not only for a house, but also shaila of getting engaged. You have that same situation. You have this concept of Shema Yikadmenu Achas. Okay. Now, Lamaisa buying a new house, what's the problem with it? To have a masu matan shel simcha. It's basically when you have a new house, it could be an old house, but it's new for you. It's a simcha dikizach. You have a place to live. Like buying a new utensil, I'm not buying a new house. Because over there it's like an emergency situation. You need to have a place to live. And you can't say it's like Kelim Chadoshim when it's an emergency, because this is an emergency tzarech gadol. It's an important thing that you need. Now, over here, legabe the halacha shemi kadmeina acha. So Reb Shmuel holds the kol kai gavnei shalatim shum ka b'dova ovid u'b'dova ovid shirin afila acharish kodesh. It's considered like a dova ovid. What is a dova ovid? This is how a lot of chevra try to get out of this problem. A dova ovid, meaning you're not allowed to go buy merchandise during the 9 days. So let's say there's a big sale. Then you say, if you don't buy, you're going to lose. It's going to go by the boards. So some want to say that it's allowed. And that's not so simple if you can do it. Because if that's called the double. Just because you don't get the bargain. I mentioned yesterday, Fialin's basement. You don't get the bargain, that's not so simple. Pashtis, with a house, it's nichlal in like you want to get engaged to a lady. So on that, you can say Shemek Kadmena Ach. My mashkos are posted the hot shoes like men achu afagaf the everything yesh be simply ksas. Well, my at the end of the day, an engagement is a bit of a simcha. You're engaged. You become a chassan. Umuvuye dahainu afil shlo yitzark mitzvah or tzark mitzvah kasaram moadak kol shari. It's not a tzark mitzvah. Engagement is not really a mitzvah at the end of the day. We're not talking about over here a kedushin. You have Kedushin Yisurim. We're talking about Erusin. Erusin is an engagement, like you have nowadays. Maybe read. That is not so simple, but Lamais, at the end of the day, there is considered the concept, and this comes out of an outgrowth of a Dava Ovid of Shemi Kadmeina Ach. Okay. So we said now, just one item. Afal Gav, the Etzem Hakinyin Va'avoris Bailis Shel Bais also Tishus Hayomim. Even though you can't make a transfer, pass papers, what we call, on a house during the 9 days, you can go ahead and write a, how do you call it, letter of intention when you have a, I don't know, the real estate brokers know what it's called.
Contract.
It's a contract, but you have a name for it. Huh?
An offer.
LOI.
Offer.
LOI.
Letter of intent. Letter of intent, yeah, letter of intent. Letter of intent, I think there's a different name for
mortgage?
it. Not a mortgage. It's a letter of intent to say you have intention to purchase this piece of property. Okay. Now, we're going to go now into the concept of the 9 days of meals. You know there's an Issa, we'll talk about Shabbos, but there's an Issa of having meat and wine during the 9 days. Let's say Erev Chodesh came out on a weekday. This year was Erev Shabbos, so it was before the 9 days. It's came out on Tuesday. So, can you continue your meal because you started the meal already to have basar v'yayin? Now, hagim shelechol basar v'shloshis yayin v'shchodesh av adachat tisha b'av. You're not supposed to have on a regular meal, I guess, wine and meat. You're that the halacha is that if you started, you can continue, even by bein hashmoshes, by twilight. But once the stars have come out, you have to stop. And this is important. Now, how far does this nighttime go? How far does the nighttime go? So, Lamaisa, Reb Shmuel holds that Bada ein heter lahamshach hachatzeis kachov. Once, even if you started earlier before, you can't continue after nightfall, when the stars come out. L'shayach eteri di'ischol be'et da'akan dvor. L'chem Hashem Mogen Avrom, shekosav nearly the miyat yispalu akol avis v'motzei Shabbos, afal pisha yochel lo yispal adayin, osu v'bosu b'yayin. You can't have wine and meat and wine. Over here, let's say you're in the middle of the meal. We were talking about the question about going from Shabbos without Havdalah. So you can't continue because Seis Kachavim came out. If the kol daven ma'ariv, even if you personally didn't daven ma'ariv, you're nigra achar kol. And there's many different halachos that we say this halacha of nigra achar kol. And he says, "Fizeh mashakosam agavram bulu adein b'rish chodesh l'nida." Ma'ariv kigam kem kaigavne. When we talk about Rish Chodesh Av over here, we're not talking about Motzei Shabbos. And before Havdalah, so what are we talking about? We're talking about Shehis Chalech L'Spal HaKol Abbas. The Kol Daven Ma'ariv, the Kaigav Nesel Bosim Yain Afagav Shu B'Tek Tzedasa. Just because you're in the middle of the meal doesn't mean that you don't have to stop. Chem Mefush Moshe B'Ruah U'Miyad Shespalu hakol avis Motzei Shabbos Avi Shehitlo Yispal Adayin Aval Pishayoch Yispal Adayin V'Hu B'Tek Tzedasa Os Bosim Yain Yinigra Achar Kol Or the head is Shafil Kshu B'Em Tzedasa Chayav Lifsuk. You have to be basic, whether you're talking about a situation, whether eating. Now, what's the kol mean? It means the minyan that usually daven white. Used to be it was in a shtetl. Shtetl in Europe weren't like here, except for Boston. A little village. Boston they call a town, a city, but it's a Jewish village. So we're not talking about that. We're talking about like you have in New York, Brooklyn, Muncie, New York. You have dozens of shuls over there. So you have to go after what you're nigra after. But it used to be shtetl. You hear all these different names. Some of these names, if you go to Europe, you go 5 feet from one side to the other. You're in and out of the city. They were smaller than what you have in the Catskills, a bungalow colony. That's how the cities were. Kleine state, little villages. So there was only one shul in town. So on those, you have to go after that town. But otherwise, if you have different shuls, either you go after your shul, or you can go after a shul that you want to go after. Say in Minkach, when there was a bris in Minkach, if they had a bris in his, then all the different shuls in town didn't say tachtu, because there was a bris in town. If you go to do that in many cities, there's a bris in town, you won't be saying tachtu the whole year. So it's a different situation nowadays. That's why you have also the concept machalamoid. You have loisegoy to do. Minyanim that there's certain minyanim that put on tefillin and certain minyanim that don't put on tefillin. Same type of situation. You're not supposed to have. So it's not nowadays. Moshe Yankov. It's not like it's good, but there's all different types coming in. There are places that are makbid. You go here to the koil here in town, they put on tefillin in the koil. If you don't wear, you want to go there dafka, it's not a free country, and they tell you if you're not wearing tefillin, go upstairs in the Bible shul, they don't want to see you. But most places don't have that hakol. Now, there's an interesting Igros Moshe on this. He writes, Igros Moshe hoira shem hischel sulav nevish loidish bosom yayin. You did. You started the suda before Rosh Chodesh. Mutalei lahamshach hasuda b'layil lechel bosom yayin el shetzor ligma behegma b'shari akan for. Who do like it? Magen Avraham doesn't say like that in Mishnah. They say if you daven ma'ariv and it's nighttime, that's it. So he's mekel Igros Moshe. Uli atam shemekel b'zehu mishum she'enin elaminik shelekach shlechein shach be'inyin hiskel behed. He says this whole thing is a minik. Some hold also that in Rosh Chodesh, even though it's the 9 days, but it's Rosh Chodesh, you have the head to eat basar b'yayin. So with all these things, maybe that's why he's making. Now, we are makbid, we're going to see the different things. Adults, or a kadmon hagiyah l'chinuch, they don't have fleishings during the 9 days. What about kleine kinderlich, little youngsters? How far do you have to go? So we'll learn this today, and then we'll have to go back to other things because we only have a couple of more nights. Nira shein tzorach limnoya betishus hayomim melahachul basla tinoikis kitanim shlagir. If it's not a giyah l'chinuch, you don't have to worry about it. Now, what is ein hagiyah l'chinuch? Kibnei chomish kudoim. 5 years old around. Once it's a giyah l'chinuch, it becomes problematic. Now, this is a big topic amongst the poskim, how it works exactly. We'll try to cover a little ground on this. Reb Shlomo Kluger, because of the Magen Avraham Koyve Misha Einitz from Magen Avraham, Misha Einitz betetz das El Shlois LaHaskell Suda Shlish Zayin Shloim. This is something else, not before talking about that. Yeah. It says, where does this come up? About Baksidim, we're not makbid on this, but there are some from the literature. Let's say you have the 9 days. This year's not going to come out. It came out last month, Shabbos. You make Havdalah, and it's after Shabbos already, right? You make Havdalah. You have wine to drink. Can you drink the wine of Havdalah or not? Israel Mo Simin Tovkuf Naf Alid Sif Yud Nahagim La'achma Shalai Lishtos Yain Shal Havdalah El Nois L'Tinik. Give it to a Tinik. Because of Mishnah Berurah that Kavan L'Tinik Shegiyah L'Chinuch Bracha Avaloi Yigiyah L'Chinuch Avelis. It's a certain type of L'Yigiyah L'Chinuch. He has to understand the concept of a bracha. You teach 4-year-old brachas. But he doesn't understand the concept of mourning. And because of Amram, the Mukhim is that the Mikar Leinahagu Isim Basim Yain Latinik B'Shabbazu, the Einloim at the time of the Shirin Kois Yain Shal Havdalah Latinik Hu Mishum the Habiyain Shal Mitzvah, it's Yain Shal Mitzvah. Kaimel and Lisafin Isur Latinik Abishur Mitzvah because it was a mitzvah. Okay? That's what he holds over here. However, so he basically says with the Havdalah of Motzei Shabbos, the Magen Avraham, give it to a Tinik. V'hine el Yorabah v'dogim v'vogu cholkim al Magen Avraham. They disagree. Mash v'daf ketanim asur v'bosa, and therefore wine as well. Because Havdalah Shani, why over here do we allow it? Mishum mitzvah, because it's a mitzvah. V'cheinechriya Mishnah Berurah. Lodas roi ba'poiskim lesa b'zeh. That is not right. What is he talking about? So Lamaisa, that's how he wants to say that the Sagir Tinik, and that's what you do. Lamaisa by Chassidim, what's the idea? You drink the wine. There's no shaila. It's a chelik from the Shabbos and you drink it. Even though there are poskim who hold that you don't. Okay. Another halacha. Afagav shenahagim lesa avtavsha shel bosa. Mutar l'chatchil levashel b'kidei shel bosa ben yom b'tish tzayom. L'maisa, at the end of the day, we don't have bosa, but can you use fleischiger pots? You use a fleischiger pot. You have a fleischiger pot, and don't forget, we know there's a distinction in a fleischiger pot, whether it's a ben yoimoi or an eine ben yoimoi. If it's something that was used that day, it's a ben yoimoi. So it has the blias, it has the absorptions of something that is fresh, and there's a question of nice and tam. There's no question of that it's nice and tam the shvach and not nice and tam the gam. Then you have an any ben yomi. We're not talking about any ben yomi over here. What?
What about an onion? Like a double heart that got cut with flesh?
Same thing.
Doesn't it become?
No, it doesn't make it. Over here we're talking about that it can be nice and tam the shvach. It's no problem. You can use a fleischiger pot. Let's say you have it in the Dovacharif, okay. It's not. We're not talking over here about a problem of charifis or anything. It says over here, even though we don't allow you to eat meat, you can use meat pots. That's all we're saying over here. If it's a meat pot, it's not problematic. Now, even though it's allowed, you're not allowed to have, this is a thing that you have throughout the year as well. Let's say you have kugel. Let's say kugel. Potato kugel, lokshen kugel. And you bake it in a fleischiger pot. They have these, the round tepluch, and they cook kugel in there. Let's say it was a fleischiger pot. Even though you can eat it and afterwards have a coffee, but you can't have it with a coffee. That if you have intention to have this with a coffee or with a glass of milk, it will be prohibited. That this we say that it's okay, so you can say it's not considered fleishig? No. For the Indian of the 9 days, it's not considered fleishig. However, the halachis of eating with milk, you can't. And therefore, chatichas kugel, shaniach me'utef b'niyah kesef turkey there is shown. Some people take their kugel and they want to have a hard piece of kugel and they don't want to have it in the oven. They go ahead and put it into the chon. That you're not allowed to, because it's cooked in the fleischiger chon. So let's say after Shabbos, let's say it wasn't fleishig. It's not comparable, because when you have it in a thing, it's wrapped, it's in the fleischiger pot cooking. So that's real fleischigs. We consider it real fleischigs. But when it's a situation where it's blias, it's only absorption, on that we're making. And we'll continue the Semet Shem next time to understand the differences, and then we'll go into the actual tinus of Tinus Esther. Chanani ben Kashem Baruch Zak Yisrael V'Yichem Tar Mitzvos Shenema Adon Yechofet